welcome to Senior Moments. I'm Jackie Sibley Newton, your host. This is a broadcast service of Cleveland Community College on Spectrum Cable and also on C19.tv. And we encourage you to share that link with family and friends who may not see the show otherwise, and share this information with someone who might be helped by it. My guest today is Tom Minowitz with Helping Hands Nursing Services, and you are the new owner.
That is correct. I took over on January 5th.
So Happy New Year to you.
Yes, thank you.
New endeavors.
Yes.
So I know a little bit about Helping Hands, but our guests may not. So tell me a little bit about how Helping Hands Nursing Services works.
So Helping Hands Nursing Service is a referral service that we pair families who might need assistance with a loved one, typically an older loved one, mom or dad, who's not quite ready to go to a facility but doesn't quite need to be home by themselves.
Okay.
So we pair them with either a certified nursing assistant or a home health aide, or even just a sitter or companion to help keep that loved one at home as long as possible, to keep, I'd say the 3 H's, keep them happy, home, and healthy.
Yeah. So whatever that person needs is what we're going to try to pair them with.
Correct.
Then those needs might vary. They might
Correct.
just need somebody to be there to make sure that they're safe. Maybe this person is still capable of doing some things at home, but maybe not making safe decisions. So somebody just needs to be there to make sure that they're safe and getting good meals.
Correct. So we can help with just companion. Could be the kind of the lowest level, just companion service. Or they're there just having somebody to talk to, having somebody to play games with, play cards, whatever it may be. All the way up to 24/7 care, providing assistance with their activities of daily living, with bathing, meal preparation, light housekeeping, toileting, that sort of stuff.
What about transportation? Let's
We
say
are-
we need
yes.
to go to the doctor's office.
Yep, we can do transportation with people as well. We do have several people that will call us just looking for specifically transportation only, which it becomes difficult for us at that point because we do require a 4-hour minimum per shift for somebody to work. So short of it being a longer doctor's appointments or several doctor's appointments together, it usually doesn't work like that. But in those situations, we just refer them out to some different entities that can
Transportation
do that.
services that
Correct.
provide that service. So that was my next question, is what are the minimums? Is it 4 hours per week, or they have to have a certain number of days per week that they
So
work?
it is just 4 hours per shift, and it
Okay.
could just be one shift per week if that's all you need. Generally speaking, we see either 2 days per week or 3 days per week. I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday is usually the most common shifts that we see for people, at a minimum of 4 hours though.
Okay. And if someone needs like really a lot of services, like they're bedridden, do you have people that can offer that service?
So if somebody does need a higher level of care, we try to pair them with an aide that would fit that need. So they wouldn't have a traditional sitter or companion. We would try to pair them with somebody that is a certified nursing aide as well.
Okay, so someone who has a lot more skill set, maybe a little bit more training.
Correct, yes.
So if someone is a CNA, I know they have to have a registered nurse that checks them off, or in order to keep their certification.
Correct.
How does that work?
Yeah,
through
we
Helping
can't
Hands?
assist them with that, but that will have to come from a CNA working directly under a registered nurse, and all that is now done online, and it goes up through the Department of.
So they're able to kind of do that on their own.
Correct.
That's their responsibility to keep that certification up if they're going to do that.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, with Helping Hands, traditionally it has always been they're self-contracted. Is it going to remain that way?
Yeah, there will be virtually no changes with Helping Hands Nursing Service going forward, at least
great.
no time foreseeable. The staff is the same. Ashley still works with us in the office, and she's not going anywhere. Really the only change is that Ruth is retiring, and she's going to travel a lot. And
Bless her
I'm
heart.
taking her place. So
Yeah.
somebody was in the office this morning, and we were talking about that. And I said, that's the goal for everybody. We'd like to get to the point where we can retire and do what Ruth is getting ready to do.
Yeah, and enjoy that grandbaby.
Correct.
And spoil him rotten.
Yes.
I know that's our goal. So, and I know that office is run like a top. So good that the staff is remaining, and I know you're continuing to hire. So if someone is interested in caregiving, What do they do if they're interested in being a caregiver for Helping Hands?
Well,
What
two main
happens
things
there?
they can do is they can just come by the office at 407 West Warren Street here in Shelby, about a block and a half from me, Pueblito. And then, or they can just call us on the phone and talk to somebody, and we'll kind of direct them what we need to do.
Okay.
And that's 704-482-8714. And the process is they'll come in, they'll fill out an application. They pay $20 for us to run a criminal background check for them. So that gives the family peace of mind that they know what they're getting in
Yeah.
a person. And then they'll, once we verify some references for them, they'll come in for a orientation on what the expectations are and how we pair them up with different families. And we go from there. So we can have people working usually within 24 to 48 hours from the time they reach out to us and fill out the application.
That's wonderful. And I know that is, I know that you're usually always looking for caregivers because there's usually a wait list for people who need
Correct.
assistance for various things. They might need 24-hour care, or they may need that 4-hour care. And so I know that you have, and then sometimes there's people, maybe there's a certain time period that they need to be off on vacation or.
Yeah,
So
and
you're
sometimes
trying to fill
families just are
holes.
looking for a change. Sometimes it's not that they dislike their current caregiver, but it might be a personality that they wanted somebody that might talk a little bit more or talk a little bit less, or that's more outgoing or less outgoing to be with their loved one. And so we always just try to make the best match possible.
Oh, I know that there were times when someone requested somebody, they can't be a redhead.
Oh, yes.
Don't send me a redhead. Mother hates redheads, don't send a redhead. And so they
yes.
could not send a redhead. They had to be
In,
somebody else.
The
or-
company that I worked for the last 16 years was a very large nonprofit home care agency. And we had a lady one time that asked that the caregiver's name not be Jennifer
Okay.
because the husband's ex-wife was Jennifer, so we
That's
could
just
not
gonna
send
make
a
her mad.
Jennifer. So yeah, no matter what the reason is, we try to
Try
make
to
the
match
for
that
them.
up.
Yep.
And when you're dealing with that population, especially maybe someone who has dementia, you have to kind of go with that because we don't know that mind isn't working the same.
Yep. And you don't know what their trigger is going to be.
Exactly.
And sometimes, as you're familiar with, I'm sure, dementia, sometimes it shows itself and people are extremely happy. Other times they're not happy.
Exactly.
And usually it's one or the other, but sometimes they'll float back and forth between the two. So we do have a lot of individuals that we help with that are that have dementia, and it's just such a lifesaver to the families to be able to have that respite break. That hey, just give me 8 hours this week that I can go take care of whatever I need to take care
Or
of.
I need to go to my own, I need to go get my hair done, or I need to go
Correct.
to the grocery store, I need to go to my own doctor's appointments. Give me that time to be able to go do what I need to do
Yep.
so that I can get my life done. Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't be there 24/7.
And when I first started in home care almost 20 years ago now, one of the stats I heard was so interesting to me is that 50% of the time when a loved one is caring for their family members, 50% of the time that loved one actually passes away first because of the stress, both the mental and the physical stress that they're going through trying to care for that loved one. And that's
We-
amazing.
we
That
say
is
that.
so tough to hear that information, but it's true.
It takes such a toll on their mental health, their physical health, and we talk families through that all the time at Terabella. It's important to recognize that you can't care for anybody if you can't care for yourself.
Yes, and oftentimes we see it as a struggle a lot of times when the couple is older and the wife says it's my responsibility to care for my husband, and
Yeah.
she does not want to give up that control and that loving nature that she has.
Yeah.
But the family realizes she needs the help, so we try to work it in slowly but surely to get mom used to having that help in there.
And there's also times when Helping Hands comes into communities because
correct.
we have several residents at Terabella who are receiving services at Helping Hands. So we also appreciate the extra help.
Yeah.
Because there's times when in assisted living, they might need a little extra care. They may need some one-on-one that isn't provided by assisted living because assisted living is people are still able to do a lot for themselves.
Correct.
So we might need that extra set of hands, or maybe in the evening when sundowning sets in, we just need a sitter, like somebody just needs to be there with that person.
Yeah, and
So
also
there's times
even-
when they come into facilities as well, into communities.
Yes, and also even just from the social aspect that we were talking about earlier, sometimes people may not like to go out within the community. They may not want to go see the other residents there, but they do they want somebody to come in, and mom just wants somebody to come in and play games with her for the afternoon, and so we can help arrange those sorts of things as well.
Right. And then there was an incident where a resident didn't have a car, but really, really just wanted to get out. So a couple times a week, someone from Helping Hands came and stayed with him and took him out. Just took him out on drives.
Yep.
Not that we don't do that, we do drives, but he wanted that one-on-one. He wanted to be able to go shopping and go.
And leave when he wanted.
He
and-
wanted to leave when he
yes.
wanted to and go out and have that kind of that independence. And so Helping Hands was able to provide that for him, just come and be with him and take him out driving, go visit some places. He wanted to go look at cars and he wanted to go shopping and walk around, and he didn't really buy anything. He just wanted to go.
Yeah.
And it was important for him to be able to have that independence and feel like he was able to get out, and that was still helped him. It really helped him have that, feel like he had independence because he could not drive anymore.
And one of the things that's important about that is because, number one, Medicare doesn't pay for this type of service at all, whether it's through Helping Hands or through any other agency.
Right.
But Medicaid is there only to provide those activities of daily living traditionally. They're not there to provide companionship most of the time.
Right.
They're really there to provide the health care needs. And oftentimes, that's where the private pay or the independent contractor can come in and provide that social service,
Right.
that social
It's a
need.
huge benefit for quality of life.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk more about Helping Hands.
All right.
Someone once said that without music, life would be a mistake. And that's how we feel here on Face the Music. Hi, I'm Summer Castle-Keever, and I'd love for you to join me each month on our new program, Face the Music, which airs on C19 TV and C19.TV. Each month, we'll highlight the talents, personalities, and stories behind some of the area's most gifted singers, songwriters, and musicians. It's going to be a lot of fun, so join me each month for a new edition of Face the Music right here on C19.
She gets her hair from her mom, her eyes from her dad, and her drugs from her home medicine cabinet. Fact: more people die from drug overdoses than from car crashes or gun violence. And over 50% of those deaths are from prescription drugs. Prescription drug abuse is preventable. 1. Secure and take regular inventory of our medications. 2. Dispose of unused or expired medications. 3. Share this message with others. Be aware, don't share, lock your meds.
Welcome back to Senior Moments. I'm Jackie Sibley Newton, your host, and we've been talking with Tom Minowitz, the new owner of Helping Hands Nursing Service. And I'm so glad to hear that there's not going to be a lot of change because this service has been around for a really long time. I know the business celebrated an anniversary last year.
Correct. Yeah, we celebrated a 50-year anniversary earlier in the year, and Ruth, the previous owner, she was president for 34 years.
Yeah.
So I've got big shoes to fill.
You do,
Without a doubt.
Yeah, they have a great reputation in the community and around the surrounding area as well. And everybody that has used the service, I think has had a really great experience.
I've never heard anybody complain, even though we were kind of competitors in the past. I've never heard one person complain anything about Helping Hands.
Well, it's just been so customer service oriented, very, very much patient oriented. Whatever that person needs has been what has happened. If you needed to change out a caregiver, then you have another caregiver to try. So it's been very, very centered around what that person needs.
Yeah, I mean, the concept of the customer is always right. That's what we try to do. As long as they're not asking us to do anything illegal, we can
Right.
probably make it happen.
Right. And you know a lot about what's legal.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about what other education background and organizations you are part of
Yeah,
that help
so
with that.
I was fortunate enough several years ago to be appointed to the North Carolina Board of Nursing by then Speaker of the House Tim Moore, and I served a 4-year term with them and finished it up and was fortunate enough to get reappointed for a second term.
Okay.
So I've been doing it now for a total of 6 years, have 2 more to go in my term. And the North Carolina Board of Nursing, I was telling you during the break that like I'm a rule follower, and that's kind of comes from my life, but also from the Board of Nursing, is we regulate nursing throughout
So
the
you
entire state.
know those rules.
We know those rules, and,
Right.
and it's not worth jeopardizing an entire business or a reputation just to get around somebody on something.
Right. And those rules are so important because they're not there to make anybody's life difficult. You know, my license as an administrator in an assisted living is very, very regulated. Very regulated by a lot of different entities. We're inspected by a lot of different entities. But those rules are all there to keep everybody safe.
Correct.
So they're not there to be manipulated or bent or moved. They're all there for a specific reason, and they're tried and true. No rule was put on those books because somebody felt like making life difficult for somebody.
Right.
Everything was there because something happened at some point, and somebody said, "Oh, we need to make a rule about this so that that doesn't happen again."
Yeah, on the Board of Nursing, our number one thing that we're focused on is protecting the public. And so you don't want to jeopardize the public through the Board of Nursing side of it. And the same with Helping Hands. We want to make sure that everybody is safe and they're happy and everything's going the way it's supposed to go.
Right. And with Helping Hands, what kind of training goes on? I know that with CNAs, they already come with their training.
Correct.
But with the caregivers, they're not really asked to do hands-on care. Is there training that happens before they go to a home to provide that care, or is it more of a session of this is what that family wants, and then they kind of work with that family on here's what needs to happen?
So it is sort of, work with the family to figure out exactly what's needed to be done. Again, if an aide is not comfortable providing a certain service, then we're not going to put them in that situation. So we try to inform the aide of what the expectations are when they get there. If somebody needs assistance with activities of daily living, then we try to tell them they need bathing, they need clothing, assistance with their clothing, they need meal preparation, whatever it happens to be. We try to, so they're not walking in blind. We try to make sure they have a
Right.
pretty good expectation of what's going on. One of the funny stories I heard years ago, and I would have never thought about this, we had sent an aide out at the company I used to work for, and she was asked to cook eggs for the client, make them some breakfast. Well, this was a younger girl. She was 20 or 21 years old. She had no idea
We
how to make
assumed she
scrambled
knew
eggs.
how.
We just made that
Yeah.
assumption that she knew
Yeah.
how. And she told us about this after the fact. And she's like, I literally had to look up on YouTube how to make scrambled eggs
Thank
for a
God for
person that
YouTube.
morning. So, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, that probably couldn't have happened like that. She
Right.
would have just not known how to do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so now, I learned from that experience to know, we want to make sure that the aide is able to do the
But
things
they
that's going
know
to be
what's
needed to be
being asked.
done.
How to work a washing machine.
Correct.
How to work the dryer.
Yes.
How
How to fold clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't assume that young people know how to do
Correct.
that
Oh,
anymore.
I have 2 children. I'm very well aware of that.
Yeah, you can't assume that they know. But also, as far as training, each individual is going to be so different into how they want things done and what they need. I would assume that the family would be a big part of working with that caregiver to say, okay, here is how mom likes the bed made, and here is how
Correct.
mom likes her breakfast made, and this is how mom likes her hair done, or this is how they like that, because no two people are ever going to want that the same.
Right, and not just the family. Like, we try to let the actual client, the individual getting the care,
Right.
really try to direct as much of it as possible. And then if they're not able to, or they're maybe dementia is set in too much with them, that's when we really try to get the family involved.
Right.
So yeah, like they have all the say in how things are going to happen.
Right.
And the aides, for the most part, are always willing to do that. Like they want to make that person happy. We really try to make sure that the people that we pair them with are customer focused as well.
Now, when someone needs help, how do they reach you, and what's that process like? Is it a phone call? Is it, I got a form to fill out online? What
Yeah,
happens?
Very, very simple. 2 ways that they can do it. They can go to our website, which is just helpinghandsnursingservice.com. It's a mouthful and it's a lot of keystrokes, but helpinghandsnursingservice.com. And through there's a form that they can fill out. Or the easier way is really just to pick up the phone and call us at 704-482-8714.
Okay.
And just talk to us. Tell us what you need assistance with, and we can kind of work you through the process. And, if it's not something that is the right fit for us, we're going to help you find the right situation for you.
Right.
Whether there's Medicaid involved, we'll try to help you, pair you with an entity that can deal with that. Maybe it could be adult daycare that is a better fit for them, or a facility. Maybe it's, some true long-term in-facility care that the person needs. We just try to match what's going to be best for the individual in the long term.
And I know that we all work together in this
Yes.
in this area. There's a huge community of us that all work together as industry partners to help families to find the best services, and partner with different organizations, with different entities, to say, okay, well, this week may not be the best fit for you, but
Correct.
this might be a really good option for you.
I had a good friend of mine here in town who owns a pizza restaurant, Jeff Walker at Jam and Jay's.
Yeah.
And Jeff told me one time I had to apologize to him because the evening before, my family and I went to Pizza Inn to eat. And I was
You
like,
were
Jeff,
cheating on him.
I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And Jeff looked at me, and I'll never forget this. Jeff said, Tom, there's a Burger King and a McDonald's in every town. Everybody has to work together to serve the people. And so we kind of do that amongst all the facilities and home care
Yeah,
agencies. Like,
we
we
do.
understand that we're not the right fit for every situation. Maybe it's because we don't accept their payer source, or maybe it's just because we are full. We don't have enough aides to service them. So
Right.
we'll refer them to another home care agency, or refer them to a Terabella or whatever their need might be.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it might be about level of care.
Yes.
Maybe your level of care is just more than we can provide, and you need to go to a skilled nursing.
Yes.
Or maybe there's some other needs that you have. So we all work together, and
Yep.
thank goodness we do all work together and know what each other provides and can help with that.
Yeah, safety at the forefront for everybody.
Exactly, and just not leaving anybody without something to
Correct.
help. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for
and
having
I hope
me.
everyone got contact information, whether they're looking for a position in employment or if they're looking for help and services for their family member. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your new endeavor.
Thank you. Thank you
I
very
look
much.
forward to working with you.
Likewise.
And thank you for watching the show. Please remember to share that link with family and friends. Also, reach out to us if you have an idea for a show, maybe some information you would like to learn about senior living in Cleveland County. Thank you for watching again, and we hope to see you back next time. Happy New Year to everyone. Enjoy your 2026.